Yes, I'm being dreadful. How could we be careful when we ain't really careful? Therefore, all the youths need a good mentor. Yes, Lord. All the years this we endure, there's no cure. All the cops screaming 10 for what for? Government always trying to send, so we at war. Yeah, we black, but we really called Moors, born poor. All we care about is Jordan Concords, looting stores. Why you taking things that's not yours? All back, that ain't no way yet on the George Floyd. Stay on point. Half America is really unemployed. We annoyed, killing people. It's a state of paranoia. Can't avoid it. All these businesses burned down and destroyed. No insurance. Think my people kinda missing what's important. Yeah, standing for your rights. Yeah, we putting up a fight. They don't want us out at night, so they gave us curfew. It's like jumping out the plane with no parachute. Don't shoot, hands up, but they still gon' do it. Huey Newton probably like, man, what y'all doing? Need to come together, all of us, and start a revolution. Yeah, this
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, y'all.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
It is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. Salutations to everyone in the chat rooms across all the platforms. Be sure to hit the share, like, and subscribe button. Rebecca, James, how y'all doing this morning?
Doing all right. Doing all right. It's a Wednesday.
Doing pretty good. Can't complain,
yeah,
you know.
Can't complain.
Just another day's journey, and I'm glad about it. That kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'm glad about it. I had to try to pick it up in my ear, and the Lord gave it to me just now.
Come on, sister.
We took it way back. Listen, we're gonna jump right into today's episode because we're joined by Florida State Senator Shevrin Jones. He's been on the show several times as a friend of the show. Florida State Senator for District 35, founder of Lead Nation, a nonprofit dedicated to education, mentoring service, character, and public speaking for middle school and high school students. Senator Jones, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. It's good to see y'all again.
Absolutely. And I wish we were here on, it's always a pleasure to have you here, but I asked you to come on this morning because all of us, everybody who's on the screen right now, we're all from the state of Florida. Yourself too. We're both from the district that now the late Congressman Alcee Hastings was the congressperson for. And we got news yesterday that he passed away. Senator Jones, could you just talk about Congressman Alcee Hastings? And because I know you grew up in that district.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ben, I think you and I both know what Congressman Hastings meant to that area. I think all of us know. The entire state of Florida knew who he was, and we're definitely devastated by the news in the passing of Congressman Hastings. Even as he battled his health, he continued to serve South Florida. In the vibrant community. With the same grace and same compassion and passion that he always have. And so it's a huge blow to our district and our community because Congressman Hastings had a very interesting way in how he spoke truth to where even in him speaking truth, he was still able to maintain respect. And you don't see politics like that anymore.
Right. Yeah. No. He was a pillar in that community for as long as I was in South Florida. I think I moved to South Florida back my freshman year in high school. And there he was. And, my father, both of our fathers are pastors, or my father was a pastor and connected. Alcee Hastings was connected to the community. And one of the things that I knew about him the best was he did not have any problems helping out new people, people who were new to the community, people who were new to politics. In fact, I was reading on your timeline yesterday. I did not know that he actually helped you and endorsed you in one of your first races.
He did. When I first ran for county commission, because that's when I was just fed up with politics, and I said that I was going to run for somebody's office. I picked county commission. Nobody else would support me, and I remember giving a call to Congressman Hastings, and he making it known that, hey, listen, yeah, you have my support, and he gave me my first $1,000 out the gate. And so, I appreciate, and he supported me every step of the way when I was in the House, when I was in the Senate, when I just transitioned over to the Senate, even as he was ill. And so, I would never forget those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was, I mean, I think I met him personally. He was like 72 when I met him, still working and fighting. And he passed away at the age of 84 on yesterday. I want to play this clip because one of our producers titled this Alcee Hastings was the Florida man. Watch this clip as he handled one of these particular situations that showed you his character and some of his get back. Let's take a look at it.
You can leave if you choose. I told you what I think about Texas. I wouldn't live there for all the tea in China, and that's how I feel.
There is no reason at all to impugn the people, the governor of a state of this country, and I will await the gentleman's apology.
You will wait until hell freezes over.
Oh my gosh.
That was Alcee Hastings.
That's my type of politics. Yes. I'm not apologizing to you.
He said you will get my apology when hell freezes over.
When hell freezes, I don't remember exactly what the situation was over, but I know that he was on the right side of that issue because I vaguely remember it. But he didn't play the fan, man. That was not happening.
No, I'm okay with that. I mean, listen, and at the end of the day, I think that it gets to a point to where you have to, sometimes decorum gets kicked out the door. It says, you want to act silly, I'm going to talk to you crazy too. I mean, I'm just saying.
I love when I like to have the fond memories of individuals. And he was in Congress for some time. He was on he has a long history of his work and his efforts there. And I know that district is hurting this morning because of the loss. But he was a pillar. He was a pillar in the community. And I just want to know, like, from your perspective, what are the ways that you are going to remember Alcee Hastings?
Well, you remember people like Alcee Hastings who spoke truth to power by holding people accountable. Yeah, I think even if he never said it out of his mouth, the Alcee was the epitome of, as long as I have a seat at this table, the seat won't be wasted. And that's who he was. And he represented his district as that. And so honoring him in that manner is extremely important, and continue to honor my district and to make sure people know that I represent them and their interests and not my interests, because that's who he was. And that's who we know him to be for all the years that we've known him. And so I think that's the best way to honor him.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that you've taken from him that have inspired you and you've taken on in your own seat? And what are those things? Like, name 3 things that you've taken from watching and being inspired by Alcee Hastings.
Yeah, being integral in the position, holding myself and the people who I sit at the table with accountable, and being honest about who I represent. Because I believe at the end of the day, we do, let me speak in I statements. I do myself a disservice when I do not represent the people who sent me to Tallahassee to represent them. And Alcee did that. And those would be my top 3 things, because that's exactly who he was, and that's how he represented.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to remember him as well. He again, like, I can't stress enough, like, this is the district I grew up in, right?
Right.
And you grew up in the same district, and we were just like, not far from each other. We both were connected, not only through our fathers, but we also knew Alcee Hastings, and we also saw his work. And so it's just one of those figures that you kind of assume, like, you kind of don't really think about the fact that they're not going to be there one day. But, there's a lot of older leaders who have been in these seats and these positions, and now they're, Elijah Cummings. We lost Elijah Cummings last year, or about a year and a half ago. We lost John Lewis last year, and now Alcee Hastings. And so it does speak to now the need for the next generation to step up and to step in and to go even further. I think one thing, and I would like for you to speak on this because we know you have work that you got to get to this morning. A lot of times is a perceived struggle between generations, and sometimes it's not perceived. There is a struggle between generations, but it's also, I think we fail to realize that our parents want us to go further than they were able to carry the torch. They want us to, no good father, no good parent, no good mother would want you to take the torch and just stay in the same place that they were in. Could you just talk about like extending the legacy and pushing even further on policies that help the people?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that how you shape that up, because you look at people like Alcee, like Elijah Cummings, like John Lewis, and you realize that these individuals have laid a lot of gems down for us to take, right? The Bible speaks about something that is very true, that, I mean, and I'm paraphrasing, but he says that once you get older and you've established something, you be careful, because a fool can come and destroy it all. And I think that what we have to be careful of in this generation, and what we don't do enough of, we don't listen. And listening will get us much further than us talking, because I believe that our ancestors who have gone before us have given us the tools that we need to go on. But we think we have to stand in our own strength and our own power, and that's the way we make it. When that's not it. Taking those gems, like the question was asked, like what gems would you take from Alcee? Those are the type of things that moves us on. Now, here's the thing: realizing that times have changed. Sometimes you have to do things different. It be done with a twist in this new age and this new generation. But the concept and how the foundation was laid has already been there. You ain't got to go next door to build nothing else. It's already built. Hang it over, do it to make it look better, and just remodel it. That's all we got to do. And I think that's what this generation we have to begin doing. We got to begin moving in a direction of hearing more, listening out for what our ancestors have laid down for us. And I'll end with this: as everybody starts saying who they about to run and this person about to take over this seat, I will say that you better figure out what the interests of the people are, because it's a totally different time. The people are no longer elected old politics.
Come on. That's it. The people are no longer electing old politics. State Senator Shevrin Jones, thank you so much for
Florida
jumping in.
Florida A&M Rattler.
Oh, Lord.
I knew, I just had to make sure he wasn't
almost.
Ben been
almost
talking a lot
made it.
lately. I had to
We
make
almost
sure I
made it, like for real.
We almost made it through.
It's four of us on here. Two of us represent something real true. Okay. And I see it. I'm right here with you, brother. I'm right here with you. Okay.
Oh, that damn strike.
Ben, don't let the devil use you this morning. Okay.
Come on.
It's too late, Senator Shevrin.
I let the devil use me every morning. What are you talking about?
Here. We here, baby. We are in the house.
We almost
go ahead, remove Rebecca and Senator Shevrin from the screen,
Senator
please.
Shevrin Jones. We appreciate you, man. But now you got to get off my couch.
And that's why you done took all the gems from him. You done used him from what he had, and that's okay. And now you're done with him after he done did what he did, after he done poured into your spirit. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens.
We can't even have a dignified moment on this show. Thanks a lot,
Rebecca.
You were
looking at Rebecca.
I love you, Rebecca. You already know that, sis. We good.
I know that. It's in the blood, that orange and green. You already know.
Oh,
that ain't nothing to brag about. You need to go to get the doctor to check that out.
You go and be great.
Like for real. Sound like that's not right.
I tell you what. Let's do it like this, James. Take us to a quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more news and politics. Senator Jones, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Good morning again, y'all. That's our quick break is gonna be Marching Wildcats. While we get back to the real music, y'all. Shout out again to Senator Shevrin Jones. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning, y'all. We greatly appreciate you. Good morning to everybody that's in the chat room taking this. Oh my gosh, somebody had the nerve to put FAMU represent and FAMU Rattlers. Jesus, yeah, before we left the screen.
you trying to play me? Telling me I'm crazy.
Simmons Jones ain't playing no games, boy. He's like, let me go ahead and exit out of here.
I'm right. Why you trying to wreck me?
Good morning, everyone. And somebody's talking about family rattlers in the chat. Oh my gosh, we had to kick y'all out. Anyway, good morning, Justice. Good morning, Tyler. Good morning, everyone in the building, y'all. Welcome again to another episode. Wednesday, April 7th, y'all. Good morning, Mama. Love you, Mama. Good morning, Sensation. You hate Beyonce, but it's okay. I got you. XO Bob, marching 100. Sir, marching Wildcats all day, every day. Chuck Diesel, good morning. Esther, good morning. Martha, good morning. It get a 9. You love the family. True line. Terrible. Levi DeVal, good morning. Love to you too. We chillin', Chuck Diesel. Good morning, sir. Don't break nothing today, okay? Latif, big up, sir. Good morning. Alicia, good morning. DB, good morning. Savage, sweetheart, good morning.
Why you trying to play me?
Brand C, good morning. And make sure that y'all stay tuned. Next break, we're going to read off the new list of patrons that we have. Make sure that you stay tuned. Next break, going to read off a couple of new patrons that we have, y'all. So make sure that you stay tuned. Alicia, be a low frequency, good morning.
Trying to put me wrong in every fight.
Carly Wynn, I know, right?
Why you trying to wreck me? You always wanna check me. Wanna call me out in front of friends. Careful where you tread before this ends. You love me and I love you, but butting heads is what we do. Bull-headed, stubborn, wild, crazy lovers. You love me and I love you.
I'm gonna pay money. Y'all ain't shit. Coming back to the screen, the haters, Rebecca and Ben.
I was like, Ben, but why Ben a hater? But I know why. But
why Ben a hater? What the?
Yeah, I was like,
you know what we are not going to do.
I know Florida A&M because I know you guys will call me one just because I represent that and because I had my camaraderie with the senator. You guys thought I was gonna really let that segment pass.
We were trying to have a dignified segment discussion about the passing of Congressman Alcee Hastings.
To be a rattler is to
be ratchet.
It's to be y'all. You love ratchet though, so you really do, and so do you, Bubba. So we are a lot of things that start with R. Radiant, radical, Rebecca.
Oh, Lord
it's just
Jesus.
a lot to be a rattler, but
Dwayne.
Dwayne, don't listen to him, or you leave his mama outside the club.
Dwayne is the bouncer. Look, you're not coming in here.
Dwayne is the bouncer. He gonna let my mama in. Like, dang, bro.
I hope the audience. I never know when the audience can hear you or not. But my God,
it's funny.
Why you
we
asking?
All get silent when when you're watching it back. We all get silent, and then
that
we
means
bust out laughing.
because then they probably think like we're listening. We're all listening to Jesus in the background. Like, anyway,
fun, the voice of God.
But this man just asked for Obama's number, and I know what he's talking about. But it's just how it was phrased.
Bubba's mama's number. The way that you just said that, it's like he's trying to hit on Bubba's mama.
Mom, you need to.
Hey, Mama, Bubba's daddy ain't having it now. Let's not get it twisted.
We already saw Bubba's daddy in the video. He don't like somebody to be played with.
Not one bit. Not one bit.
He can't see nothing, y'all. He don't know what the hell he looking at. Right.
Oh Lord, Jesus Christ.
Dwayne, he gonna try to look at you, Dwayne. He ain't gonna be able to see. He gonna be like, huh?
Y'all didn't hear. See, the audience
on this good Wednesday morning.
The audience said they didn't hear. So here we are. We all just got quiet for a second and then bust out laughing.
I told them to have David give Mama Gwen my phone number so she could text me when she was in the waiting room to make sure that she got in during that.
And so for everybody who doesn't have any idea what we're talking about, in the bonus show, in the after party, we take live callers. Like you could join the conversation. You can zoom in and do a video conversation with us, or you could just call in and do a call for us. And yesterday, Mama Gwen said that she was coming in to talk about Bubba. Bubba said no, she can't get in. So that's the back.
Mama said she was gonna pull up today. Mama, pull up. I dare you, Mama. Get in this chat room if you want to. I got you.
VIP. They got the hookah ready. She's vaccinated. We're talking about vaccinated fun, baby.
Like both, like fully vaccinated too. They ready.
My God. Okay. So we can't have a dignified show for nothing around here.
Because we ain't got time to do. Look, we ain't got time to play no more. We got to give these people a show because we already
right.
Anywho,
I'm not fooling with y'all.
I have nothing to say. Rebecca, what's happening in the news, Rebecca?
It's right here in my hands. And so McConnell, so he's saying stay out of politics and money. We know that from our conversation yesterday. So speaking to reporters about the recent state of companies such as Coca-Cola, Delta.
What are you doing?
What's wrong?
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Is that the right reader?
Yeah, that was the. What do you? I mean, you don't have to.
It was cut off.
Oh my God!
It was cut off. Like it
Now
was nothing at the bottom.
It is what goes on behind the veil. It's kind of like
my computer. Sometimes it just does not. It won't load the correct. I just
when I said raggedy.
You were talking about my internet that is an AT&T internet that I can't do anything about that.
Yeah. Is it all there now? Can you see it all now?
So speaking to reporters about the recent state of companies such as Coca-Cola, Delta, and Major League Baseball, who have voiced concerns over Georgia's recently passed voter suppression law, McConnell had this to say, quote, "My warning to corporate America is to stay out of politics." Let's take a listen in.
Republicans buy stock and fly on planes and drink Coca-Cola too. So what I'm saying here is I think this is quite stupid to jump in the middle of a highly controversial issue, particularly when they got their facts wrong. I'm not talking about political contributions. Most of them contribute to both sides. They have political action committees. That's fine. It's legal. It's appropriate. I support that.
Why does it just seem like he's missing every single, it's like it goes low from the top. Everything is gone.
The problem.
He reminds me of a character from a movie. Actually, it's not a character from a movie, and I'm not going to say it because that man has passed.
Jesus
Christ. A character from a movie.
No, you gotta say it though.
I'm not.
No.
No, I'm not gonna go there because
you got to at least put it in the Slack. You got to put it in the Slack because I
once I remember who he is.
You got to put it in the Slack. But no.
Later on, when questioned about his prior statement, McConnell clarified and said, "I'm not talking about political contributions."
Wait,
I had to add that piece.
You got to add that piece. So Mitch McConnell is telling all these corporations. Now, listen, I want to level set this conversation because I think all these things that these corporations are doing, there's nothing more than a dog and pony show. Because we were asking them for help, literally here in the state of Georgia. We were asking them for help before this legislation passed, and they didn't say a word. They said they gave a statement through the Georgia Chamber of Commerce that was milquetoast at best. And then after the legislation was signed into law, now they have something to say. So to a certain degree, Coca-Cola and all these other Delta Airlines, y'all can kick bricks because you didn't stand up when we needed you to stand up. And now you want all the notoriety standing up against something that you allowed to happen in the first place. Now, setting that aside, Mitch McConnell is sitting here talking about, we don't want you to get involved in politics, but we still want your political contributions. That's exactly what he wants. He wants to pimp everybody out for their money in exchange for their silence. So he honestly is telling these corporations, you're nothing more to us than a paycheck. Now, the real question is what are these corporations? Are they going to continue giving money to all of these Republicans when the Republicans are saying, we don't want your influence, we just want your cash? Truth of the matter is, I believe that they're absolutely going to keep giving money to Republicans because they're getting what they want. Because if they didn't want this voter suppression bill here in the state of Georgia, then they would have opposed it when we were fighting it against it for the last couple of months instead of just grandstanding now at this point. That's what I'm thinking. So
I mean, no, you said it, and it's exactly what
Rebecca, you cannot say. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
See, I'm not.
I just saw Rebecca just told us who she was.
That's why I cover my mouth. That's why I cover my mouth, dude.
But you guys know who I'm talking about, though.
Oh.
But am I wrong? Like I'm not saying
you're gonna be.
They remind you of each other. They remind us of each other.
We're gonna have to make up somebody else to fill in that gap. My God, Rebecca, you're ruthless.
I didn't. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I hate to even do this to the audience.
We're not saying it to the audience. That's why I said no. But that's what Mitch McConnell I'm sorry, not to be offensive, but we're gonna find somebody else. Reminds me.
We're gonna make up somebody to fill in for the audience. I can't think of anybody right now, but we'll think of somebody. Go ahead, Rebecca. So anyway, back to the point at hand. This is all just a dog and pony show. This doesn't mean nothing. It's all kabuki theater. They're just grandstanding for each other, but they know at the end of the day, Delta Airlines is still going to run them that money. Coca-Cola is still going to run them that money because the most important thing to them is to not pay corporate taxes. And they know the Republican Party is the party that's going to minimize, if not just completely do away with all corporate taxes. So they've got no problem. They're not even bothered by the fact that Mitch McConnell just said that to them because they know at the end of the day, Mitch McConnell is going to ultimately give them what they want. These corporations are not here to help the people. They're here to get money from the people. And so no matter what Mitch McConnell says, they're going to keep paying the Republican Party because that's what the Republican Party is here for too. Now,
dang, Ben, like you don't want me to talk at all. I was actually talking until y'all cut me off and told me about the thing that I put into the whatever. But it was me that was talking at that moment. But
y'all need to worry about Dwayne in the chat room. I'm telling you,
I'm not even looking because I want no parts of it.
I'm trying to save you from being canceled, Rebecca. Go ahead.
No, I didn't even bring it up. You guys did. And then it's you being messy. This is how instigators be. They be like, just put it in the chat. Just put it in Slack. It's going to be with us.
Drop it in the chat.
I don't even want to say what Rebecca said in the Slack. And you know what the comment section. You know they're going to be like, yo, like, what's up? I want to know what he's talking about.
It's so bad, we can't even say it in the after show. Oh, my God.
I don't think so either. And I mean, maybe it wasn't as bad as I don't know.
No, it's bad. It's bad. Rebecca, what else is happening in the news?
Okay. So, listen. So, instead of responding to criticisms of Georgia's voter suppression law in good faith, Republicans have been trotting out a new talking point that the voting laws in Colorado where Major League Baseball decided to relocate their All-Star game. How many times? Because we know this. They relocated the game. Are pretty much the same as the laws in Georgia. They're protesting. Peter Ducey, Fox News. The last name kills me because it looks like Dookie. It's giving Dookie.
I was thinking Peter Ducey.
You're saying Peter Ducey. It was giving me Dookie. Peter Ducey, a Fox News reporter, took his talking point to Jen Psaki, White House press secretary. Let's take a look and see how she responded because you know she be lying.
Is the White House concerned that Major League Baseball is moving their All-Star game to Colorado, where voting regulations are very similar to Georgia?
Well, let me just refute the first point you made. First, let me say, on Colorado, Colorado allows you to register on Election Day. Colorado has voting by mail, where they send to 100% of people in the state who are eligible applications to vote by mail. 94% of people in Colorado voted by mail in the 2020 election. And they also allow for a range of materials to provide, even if they vote on Election Day, for the limited number of people who vote on Election Day. I think it's important to remember the context here. The Georgia legislation is built on a lie. There was no widespread fraud in the 2020 election. Georgia's top Republican election officials have acknowledged that repeatedly in interviews. And what there was, however, was record-setting turnout, especially by voters of color. So Instead, what we're seeing here is for politicians who didn't like the outcome, they're not changing their policies to win more votes. They're changing the rules to exclude more voters. And we certainly see the circumstances as different. But ultimately, sorry, let me add one more thing. It's up to Major League Baseball to determine where they're holding their All-Star game.
Okay.
It's always different when it's in the White House. It's always different when you hold that press secretary position. But Daniel Dale... Daniel Dale, a CNN reporter, also went into the specifics of how drastically Colorado's voting laws differ from Georgia's. Here's just one of his tweets debunking this false narrative. He said, one more thing, Georgia's minimum boxes per county is 1. Above that, it's optional, and there's a strict max. Colorado's minimum boxes for big counties is 1 per 12,500 active voters. That means Denver has a minimum of 35 boxes. Atlanta's Fulton County, with 250,000 more people, has a max of 8.
Wow. That's really stupid. Wow. So the drop boxes, I didn't know it was that wildly different. And the fact that they are actually so Peter Ducey is from Fox News. Right. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to use this moment as a moment to grandstand and make his career. And he's building that on exactly what Jen Psaki said. It's a lie. It is absolutely a lie that there was any widespread voter fraud. In fact, some of the times we saw voter fraud was from Republicans. Right. The few instances that we've seen actual cases of voter fraud, it was Republicans.
They did a whole, Trump did this whole thing about saying that we were voter suppression on their side. Remember, we went through trials. We went to the Supreme Court. And it was but it's y'all though. How y'all really gonna flip it?
Everything.
And now they're saying, first of all, and again, I hate to be this dude, but I don't give a damn what the Major League Baseball does. To me, that's a signifier. Run us some money to actually oppose this voter suppression. Don't just make this, this grand statement of, we're moving out of Atlanta. First of all, you took money away from businesses here in Atlanta, a lot of minority businesses here in Atlanta. But anyway, I don't really depend on these corporations in the first place, but it's still a lie, right? That Colorado's laws are just as bad as Georgia's. And so what he's actually trying to do is what Peter Ducey, I can't even say his name now.
Dookie.
Peter Ducey, stop it, Rebecca. What he's trying to do is insert into the national conversation that there's nothing wrong with Georgia's voter suppression laws because, look, it's the exact same as what's happening in Colorado. Mm-hmm. And that's outright a lie. What's happening in Georgia is nothing less than Jim Crow. It is absolutely the only thing they could do more is to have people pay a poll tax, right? And they are having us pay a poll tax in the amount of time that it takes. It costs people money. The amount of time that it takes to sit in line for 5 and 6 hours, and not to mention now it's illegal for people to give people waiting in line for 5 or 6 hours food or water. This is nothing short of Jim Crow, but they're trying to make it seem as though it's all the same. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong happening in the state of Georgia because everybody's doing it. And that's a damn lie.
And yeah, it is a lie, but I think people will be inspired by it. They'll be like, oh, Georgia's doing this? Let's go on ahead. You know how the states do. They see one state doing it and they start opening up.
Everybody else try to jump in on it.
They start dusting off their hoods too. And they'll be like, let's go ahead and start this up. I mean, other states are doing it. The other southern states are doing it. Let's go ahead and take it over here. That's what they do, right? And I mean,
let me just dust this off right here and put it.
Let me just dust it off. Let me just dust it off and
let me get my hood together.
Let me get my hood together and let me get the baby hoods that I have for the kids that I always wanted to put on them.
The matching set.
Let me make sure that the family is out here. We're out now. We can represent and we can still keep our jobs. We can still be covered in some kind of way. If I go to jail, I know my kids in somewhat way will be fine because there'll be somebody down the line that assists them because that's how strong they're coming together. Speaking of that, they actually found, I was reading this just about maybe 2 days ago. They actually found some flyers from a white lives Matter rally that was supposed to happen, a KKK rally that was supposed to happen. And they found them. People were literally posting them up and gathering their white family and friends so that they can, and this was recent, maybe a few days ago, so that they can just, I guess, bring their allies together for whatever's going to happen when it happens.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I want to just give one more piece of context to this. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning twice than you do finding a case of voter fraud. They searched, I believe it was like hundreds of millions of ballots. I don't want to say a billion, but for some reason, I believe it was 1 billion ballots that they've searched over the last decades. And when the final total tally of voter suppression came in, or not voter suppression rather, but voter fraud that Republicans are trying to make everyone afraid of, the stats are equivalent to you getting struck by lightning twice. And yet the state of Georgia, and like Rebecca, you're saying, it is spreading across the country. They're dusting off their hoods. They are trying to make it seem like it is such a problem that we have to go all out, full-throated voter suppression. And it's the biggest lie that's been told in a very long time. I'm sorry, Rebecca.
And I feel like it's also in another breath, like them trying to make it seem like this is some form of like everybody's doing it. It's normal. Like that too. So it's like, I mean, don't get mad at us over here. Everybody's doing it. It's normal. It's happening everywhere. Right. And what I'm thinking is they try to make that rhetoric so that when it does, or if it does start to happen, it's like, we already said it was happening. Like we already said that this was what it was. Right. Be prepared for it, or this has been happening. You guys are just now noticing. And they try to confuse us, but that's why it's very important that we fight it here, especially while the limelight is on Georgia. We showcase everything that they're doing and how it's just how voter suppression is something imaginary when it comes to us, like Black folks really out here voting. How we have been the ones where this system or this whole idea of voter suppression was created so that we wouldn't vote. And then you guys are now taking that same thing because that's what y'all do. Y'all steal our music. Y'all try to steal our foods, but the ancestors won't let y'all. Y'all try a lot of things. And then this is the thing that you guys want to flip and say, hey, voter suppression against us, white folk. So we need to and they'll take the most simplest thing, like feeding folks, moving ballot boxes. Do you know that people will walk to go find it? We will make it a party. We will make it a block party to go find that ballot box. We will no matter what you guys do, we are going to figure it out. We're going to sell a place
across the street. We're going to get food out across the street.
We're going to do a damn scavenger hunt. We're going to have vaccines too, but we're going to all be good and healthy by the next time around.
We're going to be playing
do a goddamn scavenger
Beverly
hunt.
and Maze.
How about a block
It's going to be a whole versus battle on the way. It's going to be everywhere that we stop. It's going to be amazing. So we're going to make sure no matter what you guys do, from history, you guys have been doing this from history. Yep. Like we've heard of people getting beat. There is a woman in jail right now on this day, on today, who voted and she didn't know. And she had a record and they put her in jail. She's there for 5 years. You guys have been doing this forever systemically. So no matter what you guys do, we will highlight it, and especially in this time. We will continue to highlight what you guys are doing. But if you think that we're not going to fight this and we're still not going to represent where we can and continue to vote, period. Like, get out of here.
I'm tired of having to overcome, but we will.
But we will.
I'm tired of having to overcome too, but that's when Mary had that little lamb.
Like, so stupid. You know who's the only person that's stupider than how silly we can get? Did y'all see the Donald Trump conversation on this? Because he jumped into of course he jumped into this conversation.
You know I ain't see it because he been muted.
Right, like a mug.
Let's Dwayne, we got the clip. Play the clip of Donald Trump wading into this conversation.
Things are being obliterated. You know the Democrats are looking to virtually demolish your Second Amendment. I said that was going to happen.
I wanted to ask you about
the election. The election was a rigged, stolen election.
Mm-hmm. Why is she smiling?
If this would have happened to Democrats, you would have had a revolution. They wouldn't have allowed it. And the Supreme Court
face, and it's an ugly ass face.
Did not have the courage to do what they should have done.
I'm sorry.
These elections
giving
in the swing
hairspray.
states, they didn't have anything proven by The legislatures.
Well,
the
that's why. Yeah, that's why I asked you earlier. That's why I asked you earlier if the Republican Party had done enough before the election to keep some of these things from happening when it came to voting laws and voting integrity, which obviously all the states now are trying to do their part with that, but it's causing a huge problem with a lot of corporations and boycotts. Finally, President Trump.
Actually, they did, and as you know, judges didn't want to hear cases.
Right.
You know, they didn't want to be responsible for this. The judges didn't want to hear the case, but it's so simple. Not only dead people voting, not only, illegal immigrants and all of the other things, all of the ballot dumps, all of the things that happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, etc. Forget all of that. They didn't get approval to make all of these massive changes, and you're not allowed to do it locally or even with local judges. And
Without
they did
going
it
through
with
the state
local
legislatures.
politicians.
Yeah.
So it should have never been allowed, and the Supreme Court should be ashamed of themselves for not being willing to take it on.
Well, you're taking steps now so that it can be resolved before the next election, and we won't have to fight it after the fact.
This is what she looks like. Well, you're taking steps now, right now, to do it, even though
not the president anymore.
I laughed at that clip when I first saw it. But I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all, we are so outgunned. And what I mean by outgunned, I mean we're outfunded. Newsmax is a 100% funded by billionaire right-wing propaganda machine that is one of the only few places that allows Donald Trump to come and just say anything that he wants to say. And by Donald Trump going there, their ratings go up so high that they get even more funding, and they are able to create this echo chamber where lies like this are told over and over and over and over again until people believe it so much that they storm the steps of the Capitol in the terrorist attack of January 6th. And you still got people believing that Donald Trump was cheated out of the election and he's still technically the president and he's going to come back someday. And that's because of the propaganda machines that are funded by billionaires. And here we are, and here most of independent leftist media, we're here funding by like literally the people pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps, like literally bootstrapping, trying to tell the truth. The truth in this country is funded by our bootstraps when all these lies are able to be spread with billions of dollars. And everything that we just saw is part and parcel of how they keep getting these wins, how this bill was passed in Georgia. It's passed because all of this money is drowning us with all of these lies. And all we can do is just keep trying to tell people the damn truth. But they got the money. We're outfunded and we're outgunned.
So the woman, the news host, she literally just regarded and how she spoke to Donald Trump as if he were still the president. It was like, he was saying what he's fighting to do. And she's like, well, you're fighting to correct it. And that's exactly what we need here. And like you said, Newsmax, that's not even something that when did that fall out the sky? But you said it's funded by billionaires, though. So that makes sense. That's what keeps it around. It's going to be something that they use when they had to, especially in this time when they muted Donald Trump on everything else. And now he has a voice on this channel. This will now be his favorite, I'm pretty sure. So that he can go ahead and spew these lies. But you're right. We are outgunned because of finances, because of money. So money talks. Money gives a voice. Money gives you a platform. Money will give you a cult following, even when you're supposed to be gone and disappeared. So, and
it ties just tie it right back in to this is why I don't give a damn about Coca-Cola, Major League Baseball, Delta Airlines, all the crap that they say, because they are a part of that same system that's sending money to these people that recycles it back into these conservative propaganda machines that prop up all these lying ass liars like Donald Trump and everybody else. It's like it's just one big circle of funding lies and propaganda, all so that at the end of the day, they don't have to pay any corporate taxes and have no responsibility to the well-being of this country and leave it all to the poor and working class people across this country. So it's all one big
like Mitch McConnell. I mean, like he literally just showed us as well. You go from saying don't mix politics with corporations.
Exactly.
Like I don't get involved in it. Then he said, whoa, hold on. I didn't I didn't say the contributions. I didn't say that your money coming in would be political, because that still works for us.
Yeah.
So no matter what, money will talk. And they know, these brands and these companies and these corporations know. They're like, well, you still need us. So at the end of the day, like, we are going to give you this money for you to keep saying our names, or keep using our stuff in commercials, or keep using our stuff in, like, wherever you guys can, and keep pushing us, or, this is what they will do. We will, and it's almost like ownership. We partner with you and we can own all of Georgia, and we can just get rid of all these black folks, get rid of their rights. But then you guys can, even though you guys do this, you guys can see that, like I was saying yesterday, they thought that they can do this and go under the radar. But we have so much of a big voice right now. Thank God for the Black Twitter and our Black media spaces for us to be able to say what's actually happening on the ground, and what's been happening for months. Right? They've been on the street. They've been protesting. They've been out there rallying about what is to come since last year. And they've actually reached out to these corporations here, and they told them nothing. They didn't try to help. They looked at them like they didn't even look at them. It was ignoring. And now they have to say, oh, we don't see that. We don't believe in those kind of things. And, we're all in support in favor of Black people. And there's no voter suppression here in Georgia. We don't want any parts of that. But you funded it.
Yes.
You funded it. And
they
you
literally
never heard them when they came to you and asked you for help.
They literally funded it. And so all we can keep doing is keep fighting, keep speaking truth to power, all that good stuff. James, Rebecca, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do a couple more stories, and more like it or not, after this.
All right, so like it or not, welcome back again. It's your boy DJ Exclusive. We are about to introduce you to some of our new patrons that recently joined, y'all. So shout outs to new patrons. Luke K. Welcome, Luke K. Welcome to the fold. William M. Welcome, William. JL, welcome. And Wayne T. Welcome to the fold, Wayne T. We thank y'all so much for becoming patrons, y'all. And shout out to Third Sage for your super chat. No comment, but thank you for your super chat. And Mama Gwen said, she sent a super chat and said she loves everyone, and that's all she's gonna get. I love you, Mama. Shout out to everybody that's checking us out this morning, y'all. Make sure that you stay tuned. We still got a little bit more show left. Shout out to Nat A, Nat M. Good morning, my Nat. Susan, good morning. It's Truth to Dragon. I do what I can. Berry Girl, missed you too. Good morning.
So all you lucky ones, what up? You're always on the run, what up? I mean, don't get me wrong, but what up? Or was I not the one?
Oh, Chuck Diesel. Chuck Diesel. Like it or not, is not responsible for any damaged furniture that you may incur while dancing around and twirling in your living room. So please, be careful, be safe, move any furniture out of the way, and have fun. Thank you. Like it or not. Purple Rain Hearts, good morning.
It's all a bluff. It's all a bluff.
Melanie, good morning.
It's all a bluff. It's how you never thought I was good enough, but I called you Ace your kingdom, and it's all.
Goku, good morning.
I've been thinking.
Susan Bradley. Susan Bradley says, get high-speed internet for this. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for your super chat. Gwen Williams, pull up on me. Come on, Mama Gwen. Just know I'm gonna be ready for you, okay?
Don't get me wrong, but what happened? Or was I not the one you dreamt of? No, 'cause the life we live will never be enough. Why don't you stop for a minute? Just relax yourself. This moment will never
I can't stand Rebecca. Shout out to Latif. Latif, thank you for your super chat. Keep us grooving. Thanks, Bubba. Peace and love, fam. Thank you, Latif, brother. I appreciate it. No, I'm not Rebecca. I can't stand you, though. Come on, Chuck Neeson with the lawnmower. Melanie, good morning, good morning.
Just give it up. I'm not your girl and I never will be. Don't call me up. Don't waste your time, cause I'll be your enemy.
Lisa Noel, good morning, Lisa.
Somewhere else, heal for nothing. Just give it up.
If you are going to call in, Lisa, once you do call in, there is a way that you can. You don't have to have your video going, okay?
You and I could have fun together when I feel done with having fun.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the screen. My sister, my brother, Ben and Rebecca. I guess not in that exact order, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Ben and Rebecca. Oh, you mean sister? Oh,
my sister and brother. I said Ben and Rebecca, but not in that order though. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be missing stuff.
I be your brother too.
I'll be missing stuff.
Girl, please.
Y'all want me to be your brother? I know my voice. Well, in the morning time, you got to catch me right when I wake up. That's when I'm a little baritone. I'm a little bass. I'm right here.
Hey, good morning, baby.
Yeah. So, and then I have like basketball hands. I got a little bit of. You know what I'm saying? So I could be your brother too.
Oh yeah. Okay. No, we definitely got to. Thanks for the reminder, David. We definitely want to give a shout out to all the new. Are you? I think
already did it.
You already did that. We just didn't see. Let me stop paying attention to this Slack.
So late.
Yeah. So late. David just be putting stuff in Slack and be all wrong. God damn it, David. Rebecca, what's going on?
I love y'all so much, but I just ignore that Slack sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that already.
It just be click, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack.
I mean, now you guys understand. Sometimes it be like that. Yeah, like sometimes it be like, okay, I'm gonna just.
I feel like if y'all don't get y'all asses off the Slack. Anyway, go ahead, Rebecca. What's happening around the world?
David, damn it, David. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn it, David.
Let's see. A lot is happening around the world, and you guys know a lot is already happening in my motherland of Haiti. So although it has been over a year since the coronavirus pandemic began, Haiti still has yet to receive a single dose of any vaccines for the nation's 11 million people. So far, Haiti is slated to receive only 756,000 doses through a United Nations program. I'll get to that in a second. These doses should have been delivered by May at the latest. However, the Haitian government missed a deadline set by the vaccine's manufacturer, and they'll now have to wait even longer. And I believe they're going to get the AstraZeneca one they were approved for the AstraZeneca. Wow. Meanwhile, a recent report cited by the U.S. State Department found that Haiti's government had misappropriated, and I'm going to get to that as well, had misappropriated more than $1 million worth of coronavirus aid. Haiti has had at least 12,700 cases and 250 deaths, with many experts believing that those figures are not representative of how widespread COVID is in Haiti. Ongoing protests, a spike in kidnappings and mass gang violence, besides just the lack of available vaccines, have left many Haitians wondering how any vaccines will be administered in the coming months, even years. So I just want to start off with the fact that Haiti has still yet to receive any vaccines for the people. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So they're only set to receive 756,000, right? And that's through a United Nations program.
For 11 million people.
For 11 million people. And I just discussed how the U.S. has been putting their hands, feet, whole body into the business of Haiti. And more recently, we were promised by Joe Biden. Haiti was promised by Joe Biden that assistance would come, help would come once he got into the White House, but nothing but more turmoil has come. So they've had to take it to the streets themselves to look for their own freedom. And, Haiti's known for it. It seems like it's just a lot happening here, but I don't like the way they try to frame these conversations. Like here, what I'm reading now is something that's from the AP news. And what's happening is, I love that they're pointing this out, that only 756,000 doses were approved through the United Nations program. And I believe, again, that's the AstraZeneca. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but that vaccine. And but they had to come in and say that Haiti's government had misappropriated more than $1 million worth of the coronavirus aid. So they had to point that out. And I feel like when they point that out, it's kind of like, it's not our fault. It's nothing in the fault of the U.S. It's like, this is why they can't get it. This is why they can't get it, because they have all this going on. But it's just one of those things that they have to make excuses for why Haiti can't get assistance once again. Now, so many things have been happening in Haiti during this time. Yes, it has been the protests and the kidnappings and things like that, which is another issue in itself, which literally, I believe, is assisting in the spikes of coronavirus, people getting coronavirus. And I definitely understand that. People are fighting for their lives right now in many different ways. But there's so much more going on. I feel like there's still people that are getting sent out there for a while from America and stuff like that, where they're finding ways to set up concerts and be okay and go there, get their money and leave. So I believe that in some places, in some ways, to me, it's just an easy way, an easy cop out to say Haiti is in this condition. So this is why we're just sending them 756,000. And this is it. The UN is going to be their only help. And we're giving them help. They doing all this in the country. And so we can't really give them any assistance. And that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go
ahead, James.
I was going to wonder, I'm wondering, what are the numbers like in the Dominican Republic? I know that they're neighboring areas. So how many vaccine doses have they received, and what kind of aid are they receiving versus what Haiti is? Because, it always looks like Haiti is always getting the short end of the stick for several years. And you never seen from Dominican Republic. And that's like, that's always been something that I've always noticed. And it really makes no sense.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, though. Like, I like the way, and by like, I mean, I'm being sarcastic as hell, that they're blaming the misappropriation of funds as a reason to justify, I guess, them not getting the vaccines yet, or the limited amount of vaccines that they're going to get, because 756,000 for 11 million people, you're not even really trying. And I'm not talking to Haiti. I'm talking about to the UN. I'm talking about to the global community. And I'm specifically talking about the United States of America, because how is it that the United States is backing this current government that did the misappropriation? When the current government is the government that the people of Haiti is saying they got to go. And now they're blaming this misappropriation on the fact that they're not going to get all these vaccines. Like, you see the game that's being played? It's like, if y'all have a problem with the misappropriation, then stop backing the leadership that's misappropriating the funds and help the people. Does that make sense?
That makes all the sense, and that's what I'm saying. The way that they're framing it. So they started off with the fact of the situation, and that's basically that they're not gonna they're not gonna get it. They haven't gotten it, and then also blame them because they, under what's going on right now. You think these people are worried about sending the whatever paperwork needed to be sent at the time? They couldn't. I feel like they could not wait to not assist. So just because they didn't reach the deadline, they said they didn't reach a deadline, so they're supposed to get it in May. We haven't even reached May yet. They're supposed to get it in May, so they may not get it until the end of the year. They may not get it in, they don't know when they're going to get it. And then the amount isn't even going to go to, it's probably going to go to the places that are well off in Haiti. So,
wait a minute, look at this shit. I'm sorry, Rebecca, I just Googled this. Dominican Republic, there have been 1.1 million vaccines doses given. There's 102,000 people who are fully vaccinated. And Haiti ain't got none.
Hey, mind you, same island, same place, literally just separated by a wall, right? And then just the other day, we were talking about this again on social media. This is a conversation that always comes up. And somebody was saying, well, the Haiti keeps bringing over their issues over here and making us suffer for it. So we need to leave them out while we're taken care of. And here's my issue with that. It's like, you have to understand, this is something that's also systemic. Just because we fought for our freedom, and I'm talking about way back when we fought for our freedom, and we owed France to this day. That it's almost like we owed France for our freedom that we fought for and won. But them over on the other side, because they had some form of acceptance to that, even though we helped them reach their freedom, they had some form of acceptance and to that European ownership. They were like, okay, we're going to take care of this particular side of the island. And on the other one, because you don't want nothing to do, you don't want any help. You guys want to be free from ownership, slavery. You guys want to be free from that. We're going to make you pay for it, since you already won and killed us off, and you definitely won your freedom, but now we're going to make you pay for it. And we've been paying ever since. So no matter what happens, even in a lot of these articles, the way that they start is literally the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. That's how they start, because that's what gets everybody going, like, oh, look at all what's happening. And then they start to talk about, oh, they're over there fighting and there's nothing really happening. They're fighting a government that they need. What you don't understand is that's not the case. They're fighting for freedom. They're fighting for a government to hear them out. They're fighting because they believed in Joe Biden, right? Who's here and saying he's taking care of everybody here, but deporting Haitians back to Haiti, where they're not giving them vaccines. They're not giving them vaccines. Wow. And then in the same breath, saying that he's going to help them and not help them. So they had to hit the streets themselves. So they may be exposed to this stuff. And then now they're being told, because they're fighting for their freedom, they're not going to get any assistance because they're out there fighting for their freedom. Like they shouldn't be out there fighting for their freedom against a corrupt government. And the United States is not assisting them. United States isn't assisting them, although that was Joe Biden's promise before he got into the White House back in November. He said he would assist if he won presidency. He said he would listen to the people, and that is not the case. The United Nations, who really doesn't give a damn about Haiti for real, it's just like, oh, we'll help you because it sounds good, right? It's been years that we've been saying this, and we give you whatever's trickled all the way down, which is like leftovers. We give you that. And we say that we assisted you. So the 756,000 vaccines that are probably never going to reach them, and if they do, they're going to go to the well-off areas, where like resorts areas where the white folks go and just live and things like that. But they're going to say that we tried to help you guys then, and that to us is enough. But that's not enough. And everybody knows that's not enough. We look like, and I need people to understand, when the Haitians are out there fighting, and it's also because they aren't educated that they can get assistance in this way either, right? They're out there fighting for something, and then people are saying, well, they don't care about it. They don't want to care about it. No, that's because you guys don't even want to get involved, get representation out there to get the people to understand that they can get COVID vaccines. You think they know it's free over there? You think that they know it's free over there? You think they know it's available to them? It would be.
But that's the thing. I just can't. It's colonialism just in another way. It's literally what we've seen through world history, and they have leaders that are installed into power who are clearly not there for the benefit of the people, and they leave that figurehead in power to do the bidding of the global community, of the global superpowers. In this case, the United States of America, right? And you said something, Rebecca, the United Nations, for any of the good that it does, this is the place where, in the global South particularly, this is where it shows that it's nothing more than an extension of American imperialism. And by that, this is what I mean very specifically. The UN is not going to override the United States because, first of all, the UN is run by the United States and the Security Council, but they're not going to override it for the purposes of ensuring that the third world, or rather the global South, is going to get access to the vaccine in a timely fashion and for free. No, they are going to, the United States is hogging, and I don't want to necessarily be careful, but I want to just parse this carefully. All the vaccines are coming to the United States right now. I know we're the beneficiaries of that, but we are literally hoarding and in some cases wasting the vaccines that need to be spread across the globe. And we did a story last week where we were discussing whether or not the patents could be done away with in order for other organizations to create the vaccines. And we are literally in a situation where all these corporations, Pfizer, Moderna, everybody's in love with Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and AstraZeneca. We're doing skits about them, and they're cute skits, and we're grateful for the vaccines, but they are holding the international community hostage. And we can see this playing itself out right in Haiti, because they're only going to give Haiti 756,000 vaccines for a community or a nation of 11 million people. And here in the United States, every single day, there are vaccines that are thrown away. That should just show you the real structure of this global order. And it has always come at the expense of black countries in particular and brown countries as well. And then Haiti, we're seeing that play itself out. So to me, it's colonization just by another way of doing it.
It's colonization, and then for the way that they're representing it in the media here, I have to peel back those layers, because when you read those things, that's what people will understand. Oh, they deserve what's happening to them because they are rioting. There's this happening there, there's this happening there, but there's so much more to it. I need you guys to understand that. So anyways, it's hashtag free Haiti until we say it backwards. Haiti is free.
Yeah. Amen to that. 1.1 million doses just across the other side of the fence on the island.
And that they think that's, and again, they think that is normal. They want us to look at that and be like, come on, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's normal. It's definitely, look at Haiti. Look at what they're doing. Look how it is over there.
You know who's going to come through?
Who?
Cuba gonna come through for Haiti.
They stay coming through, but you know that Haiti's connection with Cuba is so real. Like the second most spoken language in Cuba is Creole, Haitian Creole. So our relationship with Cuba is real. You know who also will try to give us assistance? China. So and I'm telling you right now, if you think like the few people who do have a say so in a good heart, the few people in the Haitian government, don't want to connect and figure out a way to connect with those people, you got something else coming. Help they will receive, because Haitians know where good help will come from. They definitely do. So
it's gonna come from them scary. It's gonna come from them scary communist nations that everybody wants us to be terrified of. But at the end of the day, when America was pillaging and plundering, and the United Nations and the global community is taking advantage of the global South, we see who comes through for the global South. So solidarity.
And at the end of the day, that's my mother's land, and I want it to be safe. I do not want it to, because that's what everybody just assumes will happen to those places. And like those black countries, because America says they are not worth vaccines. They are not worth assistance. They are protesting. So they have no class. They don't understand what a real fight looks like. So
because they don't see them as real humans.
They don't see the same way here in America when black people protest with Black Lives Matter. We are not looked at as humans. So that's why they don't think that we deserve assistance. That's why we are in things and we're watching things like the Shevrin trial for so long, because they don't think that it's worth just saying with the evidence that this man deserves to go to jail. This man is a murderer. They think that they have to drag us through the whole process to make us relive that over and over again. And to say that he couldn't have possibly died from a knee to the neck. It was from a drug overdose. It had to be because he's black.
And because they have spent and invested. The global superpowers, particularly the United States of America, right? Western civilization. Right, all this stuff these pasty conservative white folks are out here championing, they have spent centuries and trillions of dollars to make sure that you don't look at black and brown people the same way as you look at white people. This is why what we see in Haiti is happening. This is why you can have an entire school of children murdered in cold blood in an African nation, and it won't even get coverage here in the United States of America. You know why? But it's not because we don't have an international outlook, because let 10, 20 people get killed in France, and it'll be wall-to-wall coverage here in the United States of America. That's because ingrained in this system, it has always been because how else do you justify subjugating an entire race of people through slavery and global colonialism? The only way you could get away with that
is by making sure that all the good-meaning liberals and the good-meaning white people and the good-meaning Christians don't see the people who they have enslaved and colonized as human beings. And you think 3, 4, 5, 600 years of that is just going to go away because we abolished slavery, because we got rid of Jim Crow laws? Oh, guess what? They're coming right back here in the state of Georgia. They're able, and the fact that Derek Chauvin could very well get away with murder, though the entire world saw him put his knee on that man's neck. The way they're able to get away with it is because they have invested their entire existence in making sure that you don't look at a black person, let alone definitely not a black nation, and see it as human beings equal to us. And that's what America, that's what the global powers, that's what colonization did. And we are still dealing with it to this day. So,
yeah, well, that's that. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And this is what I love about Haiti. And then we'll take it out of here. But Haiti is not going to stop. They've never been one to stop. They've been trying, and it doesn't matter. Like it does not matter what people say or how people view it or how people feel. The people who are there on the ground. It's even some Haitians who remove themselves from Haiti who have now taken on that. How we always say that white supremacy mindset. And it's like, oh, they can't help themselves. Sir, you came here on a boat with everybody's uncle and auntie and you made yourself something. Don't try it. Okay.
Got lucky.
Don't try it.
You got
hustled. Lucky because there's a lot of people who didn't make it on that boat ride with you.
Right.
So don't play. And so, they seem to forget. And I had this conversation with somebody who's now, a restaurant owner here, and I had to get them together. Like, don't forget, bro, your accent is still very heavy. So when you speak with those white folks, they gonna look at you crazy. They gonna still see you as one of them because no matter what, you are one of them. When you do go back home, they're still fighting. They're fighting. Do you understand that your family is still there? You're like first generation. They're still fighting. They're still fighting.
Oh, there's nothing worse to me. Okay. So all right, let's do it like this. We're gonna today. And everybody in the audience, you should thank James Bubba Williams because he was like, guys, I think like at least once a week we should let the people get a taste of the after party. So today we're going to just roll the show over into the after party for the public show for you guys to consume, and we'll hang out for a little while. And then at a certain point, at the very, very, very best point, I'm gonna have Dwayne cut it off. Yeah, I'm joking.
Because they gotta pay for it, baby. PPV, pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view. But we're just gonna play some music real quick, and then when we come back, we're gonna go into after show mode because I really do want to talk about those folks, Rebecca, those people who know, as black as you is, you really think that the way through this country and through all of this white supremacy is by acting like white supremacists? Goddamn.
A lot of us had. Let's go to commercial because
we'll talk about it when we come back with the after party.
And shout out to Diallo too, who still has family in Haiti, and he's been over there a few times and stuff. So shout out to Diallo. It's like when Rebecca, you were talking, he was dropping some gems in the chat as well too. I'm like, man, that's something serious.
Yeah. Give us the best. Give us. Have you played our favorite? No, play whatever you got lined up, man. Let me stop messing with your.
Oh, I forgot about your favorite. Which, I mean, Ben, you got like several favorites, brother.
I know. No, just whatever you got, man. Let's let it rip.
All right. This would be considered old school now. Right. It would be considered old school. Right. Hey, shout out to Kelvin Waters as well too. He says no one in the Sackler family has been charged yet. This is the family that was behind the opioid epidemic. They are still settling lawsuits in the billions. Absolutely, Kelvin Waters. Thank you for your super chat, sir. And then we have a super chat from Colin Sherbert. You asked why I throw you under the bus? Thank you for your super chat, sir. If y'all are sticking around just to see if y'all think my mama gonna call in, y'all keep on waiting. That lady ain't gonna call.
side now. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come on, come on, come on. It's slide to the left, slide to the right. Why couldn't it be that we can do the side now? Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come on, come on.
Lisa Noel, thank you.
Slide to the left, slide to the right. Rock with me, baby, we can do the side night. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come on, come on, come on. I can really slide to the right. I can really, baby, we can do the side night. I can really slide to the right. Come on, I can really, come on. I could really use a change of scenery. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Close the match labor handed down to me, but I'm still fly.
Dwayne, if you give Gwen that number, Dwayne.
I'm still fly. I'm still fly. Let's go. It could all be worse. I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Pills to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you from the inside out. So right now, say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to ride it out.
Very good morning.
It's my time to ride.
David, yes I am. You know what I do.
I'm free.
Justice, good morning.
Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to ride it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh. Cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny.
Get that run, right.
See whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly. I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly.
It's still 2008, you welcome. It's true, Dragon, you right. If you like DJ exclusive, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like it even better, you can go ahead and send a tip in. I'm at IJS. Tip the DJ, DJ X3C, Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal.
From the inside out, it's time.
Right. Hey, David, they're asking if you can drop the number, and I guess let's get my mom on the phone. Go ahead, somebody drop the number in the chat so Gwen can call in and get it together. Oh God.
It's my time to ride. I'm young, I'm free.
Wait a minute. I feel like y'all are against me. Sandy, good morning.
It's my time to ride it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh. If you're on the bus, say yeah. Yeah. If you're on the train, say yeah. Yeah. If you gotta walk, say yeah.
Sandy, thank you for your super chat. Sandy says you are amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. You are too.
Life has never really been fair. So put your fist up in the air. Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to ride it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it. I'm young.
Make sure that y'all go ahead and hit the like button, y'all. Share us with us. Hit the like button. Share, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, y'all. Look, I already did. I sent him a message yesterday. All right, y'all. Y'all ready for the after party, y'all? Welcome back. Are they ready? Are you guys ready? Oh, yeah. Ben and Rebecca, they back there.
I'm here. And
ooh, she chewing.
It's my time to
ride it out.
It's my time.
It's my time to ride.
James, you found that artist on social media?
Yes, on Twitter. I found him.
What's his name?
Last night, Revel Day. And I think it's Revel Day Sings or something like that. Yes. Yes.
I'm looking for him right now.
Let me send this message because, and actually, if you go
listen,
on my,
new rule,
Dwayne.
New rule, Dwayne. Dwayne, you can't tell a joke unless you catch a microphone on.
That, Ben, this is an old rule because you always like Dwayne, you have to. He never does.
I be forgetting because the speaker's right here, and I don't be wanting to just turn it on and then have it echoing back. So I got you.
Yeah, man. You been having us looking like we off. Like we've been smoking like something more
leave it off,
than
man, 'cause
weed.
I don't want you leaving it on. And next thing you know, you just in the background saying stuff, and we're like, "Is he talking to us?"
All right, so here's what we do in the after party. We literally do not care, and we have stories. We do cover the stories, but we also open up the phone lines. I'm posting a link in the YouTube chat now. It is a Zoom link, and you can jump in and join the conversation either by video or you can join the conversation by audio. We have enough producers on staff to make sure that anybody is come in doing something crazy, you won't make it to the air. But it's open, and we could talk about the politics of the day, everything that we talk about, or anything else. Rebecca, or actually, I should ask Dwayne. Do you have the clip of what was it? The French pronunciation, like we've been saying.
Oh yes, the French. We actually been saying his name totally wrong. I think this woman is going to give us a really good way to, because honestly, we've all been jacking it up, right, Ben? Like we've been saying Derek Chauvin, Derek Chauvin, Derek Chauvin.
Rebecca, what happened to you? You just like you fell apart.
What? When?
No, there we go.
Where was I?
You were. It was on me the whole time.
Oh, I get it.
You let yourself go, Rebecca.
I'm so used to it that I didn't.
This fool said you let yourself go, Rebecca.
Yeah, you better watch it, Rebecca. Mic is open now.
Hey, Rebecca, you gained this weight over there, Rebecca. You like you forgot to wax. You forgot to wax your mustache over there, Rebecca.
I said, what's happening? No, I don't wax my mustache. I get it lazy.
Rebecca, that beard sure grow in, didn't it?
You gotta put the wax on at night, Rebecca.
I told you I could be your brother. But anyway, we've been saying his name totally wrong. You're right, Ben. We've been saying his name totally wrong, and I think that this woman is gonna definitely assist us in how to say.
Do we have that clip?
We should.
I hope we do. We set it up real nice.
That clip was dropped yesterday night.
Also, well, I don't see now when we need Dwayne to talk, he ain't talking.
Dwayne, you can't leave us for dead.
Dwayne.
Oh, we got people calling in already, huh? Okay.
This is how.
That's why I can't. Oh, that's why I can't hear Dwayne. Okay.
I've noticed that many people are mispronouncing this man's name. It's French. It's pronounced murderer.
Murderer.
Do you understand, you guys? Derek Chauvin's last name it's French. It is. It's murderer.
Wait, I didn't know she had a southern accent. She was like, it's French.
Yeah.
Murderer.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was gonna be like I thought we were gonna have to clown her, right? Because I'm like, I know she's not. Who cares how to pronounce this man's last name? Nobody give a damn how it's Chauvin.
I
thought she was gonna like. I thought it was supposed to be like Chauvin, and she was like,
Chauvin.
no.
Chauvin. Who cares?
Chauvin.
Chauvin. Who cares? It doesn't matter. You are a murderer. I hate y'all, the trial situation. I know I talked about it yesterday, but every time I think about us having to go more weeks into this trial, it's almost like we're looking for evidence. The thing is on camera. We are not looking for a white Bronco. We are not looking for a glove. We do not.
You went way back. You too young to even remember a damn white Bronco.
We're not looking for any of that, though. There's we have evidence. There's no way that we can plead insanity in any of this for the cop. We watched this. We watched him, and we watched his knee on his neck when people were saying, get off. And we saw poor Georgia Ford, who has to, no, actually, thank you for doing what you do. I love that you're right there. You're in the middle of it, and you're getting the exclusives. But I know that you have that natural, I know that when you get there, you get upset. You get those feelings. But I know that you're a great journalist and you have to be unbiased in these cases most times. But girl, I don't know how you're doing it. So more power to you. And like I said yesterday, self-care. Because for me, just watching the small bits and pieces that I did watch, it's like I had to just remove myself. Because I'm like, okay, go get a breather. Because you watching that was very traumatizing. I don't know how they don't pay for free self-care for people who are covering this or working around this thing, because especially as a Black person, I
know how, because generally speaking, they don't have to. There's a lot of reporters who don't live this. All they actually do is just report on it. That's it. And for them, it's just a job. Versus for us, it's our life, and it affects us in a way totally different than it affects somebody who all they're doing is covering it for, this is the beat. This is their beat, right? This is what they've been assigned to. And this is why you get people who cover these stories and then they end up going back to look up the criminal history of the person that's dead, right? And so that's why, when we covered these things, it gets in it affects us. It affects our psyche, it affects our spirit, it affects our emotions. You really are, honestly, right? Real talk. We're all a little bit traumatized. This show, in fact, is a result of 6 years of trauma of dealing with these same goddamn stories every single day, right? Because just it all piles up. And because we actually are doing this, we're not doing this because we want to be Emmy Award winning journalists. I do this because this is my life and this is my truth. And so it affects us in a way that I absolutely cannot and won't cover the Derek Chauvin trial at the intensity that it should be covered,
and that we could.
And that's why I'm so grateful. I am grateful that Georgia Ford is out there doing it and taking it on the rhetorical chin. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So wait, who? Is somebody talking to me?
Go ahead, Rebecca. After you're done,
okay.
I have a special guest for us. So.
Okay, 2 seconds. That's it. Yeah, no, Ben, you covered it. Yep. Who's our guest? Who's our special guest?
So this woman needs no.
I can't hear nothing.
Bubba, you'll be able to hear in just a second.
I still can't hear nothing. Wait a minute.
It's not about you, Bubba. Just hold on.
Hi, Ben, Rebecca, and the third person I don't want to mention. How are y'all today?
We're doing great. Who is this?
Watch your tongue, woman.
This is Bubba's mama.
Hold your tongue,
hey, Mama
woman.
Gwen.
Hi.
Thank you so much
for calling. I wanted to call in and tell you guys how much I love the show. Ben, Rebecca, and all the guys behind the scene, you all do such a great job. And you become a part of my husband's and my life. Every morning we get up, you are like our alarm clock. So when you all weren't on last week, I went shopping instead of listening to the show. So my husband hated that. But I wanted to tell you all how much I enjoy the show. You all are doing a great job because you keep us informed and up to date to what's going, with what's going on. Of course, we're older, so we don't get out there to get, a whole lot of stuff that's going on. My husband watches a lot of MSNBC, and that's the clear people's channel, but that's what he likes. So with you all having this show on really helps us a lot. But what I wanted to share with you all was something special about Bubba. He's a very different type of person. You all don't know that, but he is. So I wanted to share something with you. On Easter Sunday, Bubba came over with everybody else, just like we normally do for the holidays. And he's always loving, very kind. He brings the grandchildren's gifts, all the time. He brings them surprises. But on Sunday, what I usually do on Easter is I make baskets, usually for all the women, because I have an Avon friend and she gives me great deals. So I make baskets for the women. Okay. Bubba was the only one running around with this pink Kroger bag talking about, I want a basket too. Where my Easter basket? All these women around here running around with baskets, and all I got was some socks and some candy. He better be thankful for that. So,
James, are you going?
Now that I've embarrassed him.
Is that what you really got? You got the basket, James? You got the
Pay some goddamn socks.
He's not talking now.
Everybody else, you gave everybody else a whole full care set. You gave me some socks. What's going on? What socks? Thank you, mother. I love you.
I want the makeup.
Right. I want makeup.
I want come on.
But
Rebecca, all the other guys got socks and comic books.
But you said, Mama Gwen, you did say your baby is different, and he ain't want them socks.
Hey, those socks are fly though, James. I'm gonna come cop them
Thank
socks
you.
from you because they match my new blazer.
They is fly as hell because they some pineapple socks. So I ain't gonna lie to you.
Mama Gwen, thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
so
One, for James in the first place, but two, for calling in and sharing all that love.
Thank you.
Okay, I love y'all, and you all
Love you,
stay
Mama.
safe, okay, and keep up the good
Absolutely,
work. I'm
you
really
too.
proud of the whole show.
Thank
Rebecca,
you.
keep them in line. Okay, bye-bye.
You got to keep hold,
Okay.
fam, you ass in line.
Right.
Mama Gwen,
Gwen
I'll be
Swift, she
trying.
ride for Rebecca, child. Y'all taking care of Rebecca?
Nobody thinking about Rebecca Azor.
Right.
Oh, man. All right, so
Love you,
folks, we
Mama.
dropped the link in the chat room. If you want to join the conversation, call in. And literally, the other part of this show, like there's enough news. We're not going to cover the news all the time. So call in. We can talk politics. We can talk the news, but also we just talk to you because we are still in this here pandemic, man. Like, we're not out of it just yet. And one of the callers who called,
Rachel,
it wasn't yesterday. I guess it was Monday. Was it Valerie? And Valerie was like, she really looks to the show like every morning. Like, she was like, we've all become friends. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, some of the realest relationships that we have are right here on this interwebs, right here on the screen.
The only
And-
relationships I got.
well, actually, Rebecca,
What
you
happened to
talked
the
to somebody
African?
behind the scenes there.
You know what? Never mind.
No comment. All right. Anyway, so moving on. You see, she got
Right. Then, like yesterday when I said the other day, it's good.
Yeah,
You gotta say
we'll
nothing else.
just keep going, moving on. All right. So just for the sake of the people who are like, could you give us some more news? Because some people do want some more news. I don't know if I
Ben,
want
you care about the people now. You really care about the people today. You're giving them free
Today he's
content.
really caring. Right.
You're giving them the
ride that, girl.
time.
You guys are
you've
see,
been real
see,
talkative.
God don't like ugly. See his camera. That's what y'all get. So in the meantime, one of the
That's why
stories
I
we
changed
covered.
my battery. It be me. Bubba, you was talking about my battery yesterday when my phone was going out. And then I got back on that call when my Wi-Fi kicked back in. And y'all was in that meeting talking about Rebecca's battery going down.
Why you hit the man while he's down? Don't hit the man while he's down. Give him a chance to get the camera plugged.
Him. I'm just giving him a little.
Anyway, here's one of the serious stories.
Now,
that
what
we
was said,
go-
I didn't pop up back up.
I keep trying to go to the goddamn news.
Thank you, Dr. S, for
Go to
being
this
here
next
for
news,
me.
or you want to go to another caller?
All right, we'll take a call. Okay, I've been overridden. I've been overridden. All right, who's the next caller?
We have Rachel from the Ukraine. Rachel,
Okay.
go ahead.
Nice.
Well, Ukraine, what's happening, Rachel?
It's actually snowing out right now.
Oh, wow.
It's snowing.
And it was like
I can't hear
20
Rachel.
Celsius a couple days ago. But
Oh,
yeah, it's so
goodness.
cool that I actually caught up with you guys.
No, it's a pleasure. What's on your mind? Thank you for
From
calling.
the Ukraine, sis.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, something mentioned earlier, this is kind of not speaking of news and forgotten news of like absolute horror in Africa. Like, do you remember in like 2013, 14, the whole world was terrified of Boko Haram in like kidnapping kids in Nigeria, and then it just sort of became. I mean, at the time, it seemed like the scariest thing in the world. And it still does to me. Did people just lose interest? Did they find the kids? Whatever happened?
And Rachel, that's exactly what we were talking about. It's like it was, and I don't say this to be coy, but it was quote unquote a thing at the time. Remember, they had the entire campaign
Free
of
the girls, find the girls.
Free the girls,
Yeah.
right? And it was a big thing, and it was almost, it went away almost as if it was a marketing campaigin. Right.
Or return our girls. It was something like that. But
Yeah. And at the end of the day, there is a level. It's simultaneously. It drives me crazy because it's simultaneously like a branding thing. For 30 cents a day, you could do this, right? And there's like these nonprofit organizations that make billions of dollars every year off of the backs of the pain that happens in several African countries, right? But at the same time, the opposite side of it is this constant fear mongering about the dehumanization of people in the global South that it's like both and. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want to simultaneously raise money off of the backs of the pain that colonization caused, and then simultaneously they want you to be terrified of it. So to be honest with you, I'm not even sure whatever happened.
They did release those girls. They released them. Yeah, they released them, and this was, I think, like 2 years ago or something like that. But they did release those girls like a few years back. Well, a few years back, I remember. But
because I'm remembering when it was still like not as center, but still very much an open issue. The French magazine Charlie Hebdo did this really crass cartoon, basically of basically a really gross depiction of this bunch of black girls in. I mean, it was just. I mean, obviously not enough to like take up arms against. I just thought it was really crude, kind of poking fun at like, I don't know how many families at that time were still like scared out of their wits, not knowing like what had happened to their kids. And it was just, yeah.
And just to be sure, everybody, like they released a lot of them, but I think there's still a lot of those girls who are missing to this day. And so just to echo what you're saying, Rachel, but no, we definitely appreciate you calling in and bringing light to that, because I think it was in context of the conversation we're having about what's happening in Haiti. Where I said that like the dehumanization that happens. Right. And we just don't, we don't humanize. We have in this country, we like to otherify. Like we make people the other, and that way we control. And when I say we, I say we as an American, because America is the leader of this, right? Like we are the continuation of it. It obviously started with British colonization, right? But America has mastered it along with other nations. But we like to have control over who we have empathy for. And if we have control over who we have empathy for, then it makes it that much easier for us to invade a nation. Right, it's not just African countries. Think about the Middle East. Think about the entire Afghanistan war and Iraqi war, the war in Iraq. It's easy. It's easy for us to go to war in those nations because we have done, as a nation, as an empire, we have done a thorough job of dehumanizing them, and so the American people won't get up in arms when we drone every single day and drop bombs indiscriminately across the global South. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thanks so much, Rachel.
All right, have a great, well, I guess I would say evening, but it's morning there, right? So.
Yeah, it's morning. Yeah, it's morning. You have a great evening.
Morning, I don't know, day, night, existence. Have a good existence.
Have a great present moment. Have a great moment of the present. There you go. We used to have a phone number, and I still actually have the phone number. I'm so used to calling it out, 857-600-0518. I'll get that actual phone line up again, and then that way we can have phones as well as video. Some of you can call in via video if you so choose. What else are we looking at? Since nobody wants to go back to the news, y'all keep overriding me. What else do I want to talk about?
What about that video that David said, the credit score and where the money reside? Video.
Do we have that one?
Did we watch that already? Because I feel
we talked. It was on the list yesterday, but we didn't get away to it. Get away.
Thank you.
Okay, baby. So about this car
that you can't afford.
Yeah, let me get you another social, and then we can just try to run it with that.
You know, there's a phrase for that.
Strategic.
Fraudulent.
Yes, I'm sorry your husband's in the hospital, but I have a business to run, honey. Oh, look what unemployment dragged in. Oh, look what depression dragged in. How are you? Blessed and highly rich. How about you? Blessed, not stressed, and buying a car.
That's how you gave me pull up a 1, 2, 3.
You said you're buying a bike. I'm just watching a YouTube video.
Cassandra.
Hello,
bitch, I know you hear me.
Is the name Croissant?
Cassandra.
All right.
Oh, I'm hearing it.
Okay. Where the money reside?
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 Because her credit score was a 3.
A 1, 2, 3.
Oh, how you doing, baby?
Blessed and highly rich. What about you?
Delivered and stress-free, baby. What are you up to?
I just got off the phone with Atlanta's Most Wanted.
Oh, I hate that for you, baby. No one wants to deal with a crook. What's your name?
Camilla.
It's Cassandra.
Cathedral.
Cassandra.
Catahoula.
Cassandra.
Oh, whatever, child. Your credit score was a 1, 2, 3.
Fraudulent.
It's the Conehead. It's the Conehead wig for me.
Right.
Y'all remember that movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Were those
No,
people?
I
Were
thoroughly.
they white?
That's our guy, man. Where the money reside. Where the money reside.
We need to get him on the show, but he too big. He too mainstream.
He
for
rich
us.
now, right?
I hope so.
I'll work on it. Let me work on it. I'll work on it.
But look, this is our promise. I think we're already where the money resides. But I think, we'll always be who we are. Because no matter how many views we get, because Ben Dixon has a blue check mark by his name on Facebook.
A whole blue check.
They don't like me on Twitter though. I can't get one on Twitter.
Ben be on he can't get one on Twitter. I just don't understand. Ben be on MSNBC sometimes, and that's what Mama Gwen husband like. And then Ben be with Roland Martin, who that's not everybody in their mama. Ben goes to the white folks on TYT and be kicking it with all of them.
TYT ain't the white folks.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought they were.
Matter of fact, I'll be on TYT today and on Friday for anyone who's.
You thought they were everyone, but when you compare them to us, it's like you have them and you have us, not separate. But I'm saying we're black programming, 100% black. So, but we would never leave you guys behind.
We're so black, we have to contain our blackness, or else we'll scare y'all away.
It's true because we have a lot of white viewers, and we don't want to scare you guys away. But then sometimes we will release it and be like, "You get what you get." Because I was tired of being in that box for so long where I couldn't wear, my weaves. Y'all saw me. It's only Wednesday. I've had 3 different hairstyles since.
You have.
So I wasn't able to do those kind of things. Even though I'm missing a nail, I wouldn't be able to wear none of this. I could not. But you guys are going to get me in.
Did you get those nails fixed?
Listen, Ben.
No, you mentioned them. I was concerned.
I haven't gotten them fixed, man.
I can't believe you called my friends at TYT white. Why would you? How like they
are
they Turkish and Armenian?
Oh, that's not white.
And you have JR who's black and
Ben. I said 100% black over here. I'm not knocking TYT. I absolutely.
No, I know. No, I'm speaking with you.
But here's the thing.
Because Rebecca.
Turkish,
Somebody
got real quiet there for a second.
Right, I'm waiting for Rebecca to say.
I wanted to make sure Ben understands. Like, hold on, Ben.
All right, so
who said that?
We have another caller. That's our next caller.
Okay.
Oh no, you're fine. Y'all ready?
All right.
I heard something.
You're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and or question?
We have Nikki from the great state of Florida.
Oh,
Nikki
Lord.
from Florida. Oh,
hey,
boy.
Florida.
Come on,
Florida
Nikki from Florida.
Okay. I got to start with good morning, Mr. DJ. How you doing?
Good morning, Nikki. I'm good. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Hey, hello.
I started watching this show because Ben came on late one night and he was just spilling his guts, and I was feeling all of it, and I thank him every day for that, because that changed a lot for me, because I was not enjoying coronavirus in Florida at all. So I have seen Ben before. I liked him, don't get it twisted, but that night I fell in love with him because I was like, okay, I might be able to keep my sanity just a little bit longer. Then he described himself one day. He said, to know him is to love him. And I felt him, because I do the same thing. If I meet people and they actually get to know me, they love me. But if you just, glance at me, I have resting bitch face, and it's not always conducive to a good thing. Then you brought on my DJ, and then I'm stuck. I even figured out Patreon just to hang out with the DJ one night. I've been loving the end of coronavirus. I'm going to get my shot. I ain't gonna lie. I've been procrastinating because, this is Florida. I'm scared to go out my door. I just think everybody.
Talk about it.
It is.
And then you guys brought on Rebecca, and I have been giggling every morning ever since. And when I don't get up in time to watch y'all, I actually get in my feelings like, damn it, now I have to watch it recorded. Oh well. But I Okay.
Oh, at least you're watching it. And that's we definitely love the support and people who see us enough to be like, I missed the show. I got to run that back. Like we're your favorite show on television or something. You got to play it back.
I kind of love it.
And I appreciate that.
When you guys were going last week, I was lost and I spent way too much money on Amazon. I felt you on that, Miss Gwen.
Well, now listen. We in order, for the sake of not giving Jeff Bezos any more money, we will make sure not to take an entire week off anymore.
Thank you.
No, it's our pleasure. Listen, thank you. Absolutely. You know what? Rebecca says this to me all the time, and because y'all know it when I say it. Let me just say it. Like, a lot of times I really don't even kind of realize the kind of impact that my work has had over the last couple of years, because I just be so busy working. The other thing is we in this pandemic, so it's hard for me to tell because I look into the same window every single morning, into the same camera every morning, and I didn't realize like what we were building was reaching so many people and helping so many people. So thank you for taking the time to call in and tell us that, and absolutely thank you for mentioning DJ Exclusive and Rebecca, because they were, let me tell you something, 3 people in my life that kept me from either being dead right now or in jail right now. Number one is my wife, Jada, who made sure that I didn't go and do my own special type of protest that I talk about all the time. I didn't go marching up the steps of the Capitol burning an American flag, which is what I was ready to do. So thanks to her. But then Rebecca and James, like the patron parties, James was blessing me. And I'm like, you know what? Let's bring them to the show. Let's bring them in on the mornings. And then Rebecca, like me and Rebecca been in the trenches since I've been in Atlanta. And so we were just waiting for the opportunity for us to be able to work together again. So I really appreciate that you, as an individual, but also the audience, that you all appreciate the work and what we're doing. So thank you so much for the call.
I appreciate the universe putting y'all together. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Love you, Nikki. Thank you.
Now, here's a bad thing, though. Here's the flip side of that. I can't ever get rid of y'all two, can I? That'd be the end of my whole. That'd be the end.
Never, my nigga. Never.
Yeah, and you've added Bubba to the mix, but you've never could get rid of me. I mean, even when I try to run, you'd be like, Rebecca, you ready? I'm like, right. I'm in a whole new corporate world. I said no more, and here you go. But no, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't. That's why I always tell you, people always say, why don't you do this over here? Why don't you go here where the money resides there? And Because at the end of the day, I feel very comfortable. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like we can definitely argue in front of a whole bunch of randoms and still come back and they be confused like, dang, they was.
Hey, yo, me and Rebecca, we've gone. Hey, but you and I have not gone at it to the level that we went at it at that other company when we first met each other, because there were some episodes then that we were like, we ain't want to. If we didn't have to be on set with each other, we would not have talked to each other for probably a good 2 months.
Unwind and be like.
Oh, if we didn't have a common experience with the colonizers, then, but that brought us our struggle.
We'll have a breather in the room and be like, oh God, listen, you didn't have to act like that. You didn't have to act like that. Okay, it's cool. We got to come back tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So, but that's what friends, we fight, and we've had these intense debates. It's not even really fights. They're just good debates. But I know for a fact, there's no way, especially the last person on earth that I could ever like exclude or not have on my channel going forward is James Bubba Williams. Because I do believe more people love James than they love me. So I'm kind of like,
they will shut this whole thing down.
They will shut the whole thing down.
Earth. Okay?
Y'all stupid.
Somebody said Rebecca can be replaced with Kim Brown. Rebecca is, I don't know who Kim Brown is. Shouts out to Kim Brown, whoever you are. But Rebecca is irreplaceable.
Talk about it. Kim Brown is another one of my sisters from another mister, and always would actually have her on the show. But what we should
have her on the show.
We ain't gonna pit two black women against each other.
No, yeah. So
not at all.
King, thank you for your services. Look, Dwayne, get him out of here.
I don't got no control over that.
I'm gonna drop this link one more time.
Okay.
I don't got no control.
For anyone else who wants to join the conversation, you could click on that link that I just dropped. You know what? And I'm not being fair because I didn't drop it in Facebook. Drop it on Facebook. So let me go over there and drop it on Facebook. In the meantime, while I do that, if y'all don't catch me, I'm gonna go to a story.
Ben, it's okay. This is, we want to make sure that whatever stories, just let me know which one you're going to so that
right.
we can be following along.
And FYI, everyone that's watching, this is a taste of what the after show is. So if you do want to get this every day, make sure that you join the Patreon.
Do you know what that means for you guys? That means more James Bubba Williams, because you guys don't really get him on the main show, but in this moment you get all three of us as I'm
gonna be honest with you though, guys. We still aren't giving them the full taste of the after show because
you know why? It's like because we know
a lot of people are watching.
After show,
there's a lot of people watching.
It's a lot of stuff we can't talk about right now.
We're still being kind of formal, and I know a lot of the patrons are like, "Okay, guys, let's close it off, but let's just go to our private room." It might be a good point for us to close it off and go to the private room. What you guys think?
Like pinch it off, just like snip, and just like
Because it's when nobody's looking. It's when we're around family. Like people, it's like all of you are family. Don't get me wrong. But when you can't have every kind of party.
It's
in front
the folks
of everybody.
that really are willing to be like, I'm about to make sure we going to the after party and I'm paying for everybody.
Listen, you don't stream everything. Right. Think about what just happened to Paul Pierce. He just lost his whole job because he streamed his poker party with the strippers.
He really doesn't care though. See,
and,
you right.
And I missed all of that
money
too.
Money talks, man. Because when you rich, you get fired from a job. It's like I can go on vacation.
Yeah. Well, for him, he lost that job because you don't stream everything. Some things you just keep dicing in private.
Pierce, but wasn't Pop? Oh,
the basketball player.
No, I know who Paul Pierce is. Number 34 from the Celtics. He's definitely carried it on his back from the big three. I know exactly who Paul Pierce is. My thing
you better run it. Okay.
The people don't know. Basketball is my thing. But I think that I was getting him confused with Charles and how he had
his old stepping fetched ass. Charles Barkley.
Yes.
That clip, I wish we had that clip of him saying, every stream, his old country bumpkin. In the clip that I think you're talking about is a clip where he was saying, Charles Barkley was saying that, all the politicians are the same. And there's no difference between the Democrat and all they want to do is divide us on race.
Ben, that's not the clip I'm talking about. I'm talking about when he picked up a woman back in the day on the streets.
Oh, you talking about, oh, Lord. Wait a minute.
Oh, she had a clip of that
out? I missed that whole
thing. I
missed that whole thing.
It was back when they had limousines, and the tape quality had it was like the tick, whatever. But he went through his own issues and he went through his own situations with that, and he had to get clean and all that, and then he came back. And
Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah, I do remember that, Rebecca. Jesus, that was years ago.
I don't see. My thing is, somebody said Paul self-snitched. I don't see how Paul self-snitched. We have a lot of basketball players who show themselves in the club, women be twerking and things like that. And I think it's because Paul is a certain age, right? So I think we attach him with not being able to have a life. And don't shoot me. Don't throw tomatoes at me just yet. I just feel like, it's his Instagram. And yeah, there is a way we have to carry ourselves. But with Cardi B, we stick up for her when she says, I'm not raising your kids. Like, I'm not, be careful what your kids are doing, whatever. I'm still doing my job as whatever. Yeah. My kids don't watch this. My kids don't do that. So is it different when Paul Pierce does it? Because to me, he's literally on his own platform doing the same thing.
Why? Here's the difference. Cardi B doesn't have a morals clause in her contract, and she doesn't have a contract with Disney. With Mickey Mouse. So Paul Pierce can't. I mean, if Paul Pierce would have did all that and it never hit and went viral and never hit social media, he'd have been good to go.
Yeah, he would have.
Being that you represent Disney, represent ESPN, and I'm sure in his 500-page contract, there's a morals clause in there that say, yo, you can't represent us the wrong way. So he brought that on himself.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, voice of God. I can definitely see that. I can see that.
Yeah,
no, I agree with that. Now, just on the principle of the matter, though, just on the principle of the party wasn't even that like there were strippers and it was a party. So the party itself, in the broader scheme of the culture, to me, it was like no big deal. But the fact that he had a morals contract and clause in his contract, then he must have forgot that he had that in there. So.
Maybe he didn't forget. Maybe he
ain't forget.
He just
care.
wanted a good time, like whatever.
I mean, like we said, the best times are the ones that you don't stream. But at the same time, sometimes it'd be so good you be want to cut the camera on and say, "Hey, everybody, look at how much fun I'm having." I don't think that party was particularly the one to get fired for. Like, if I'm going to get fired, it's going to be a hell of a party. That's all I got to say.
Alexa, play Cardi B.
I knew he was going to do that. I was waiting because I saw it in the comment section. I was like, "Don't!" I unplugged her before y'all can get to it. She is unplugged.
Damn it, man!
You got to be quicker than that.
Why do you have that CIA agent in your house?
You know what's crazy, y'all? I can drop in on my home. I can drop in, like when I'm not home and I'm like, let me hear what my house is doing. And I'll be like, call house, Alexa. And then she'll call, and then all I hear is just,
That's too scary.
That's funny.
Now, to be fair.
I'll be like dropping on my daddy, and then it'll go to his office, and then I'll be like, Daddy. He'd be like, why are you calling me? I'm like, I just want to see what you was doing.
No, to be honest with you now, like we all bullshitting, but the truth of the matter is every single one of us got a CIA agent in our hands. Have you noticed that if you're listening to music on your phone and you go to any social media website, the music cuts off? Y'all ever run into that? That's because your phone, like when you go to these, they are actively listening to you as you use Facebook, as you use Instagram. That's why all you got to say is, I don't know. I never forget. I was at some bar and I ordered a Corona, and the next thing I know, I had a Corona, the very specific brand of Corona, the Corona light, whatever it was, pop up on my Instagram feed like 5 seconds later. So, Alexa is a CIA agent, but so is our iPhone.
Stop saying her name. Alexa, play None of That by Asian DeBrat.
Huh?
Let me know if it played on any of you guys' stations.
Hey, let me read this super chat real quick.
Thank
James,
you, man. You got it. Yeah, I got it. Laura Estrada sent the super chat saying, TYT introduced me to Ben. I wanted to educate myself. I found a preacher and a shaker and a mover. You bless this Cali mixed race Chicana every morning. All right, Ben. Shout out Laura Estrada. We thank you, man. We appreciate that. You better get it, Ben.
She said she found a
mover and a shaker. Come on.
And a shaker. I try to get rid of that first part, that preacher part, but it
would never
it ain't
go
going
away.
nowhere, brother. It's not ever going anywhere.
Do you listen to Roland Martin? That man could be cussing out anybody. He does give uncle vibes, but at the same time, like he has that preacher-ness about him.
I'm gonna work on my Roland Martin accent because he be tripping me out.
Because you kind of were giving Mitch McConnell. Is that your black Mitch McConnell? I don't know.
No, Roland Martin got his voice kind of like he's up here, somewhere up there.
He doesn't have a bass in his voice. He don't got a bass.
Reverend Donna Gilbert. Oh my gosh, I can't pronounce her last name.
Donna Gilbert Pouliot.
Reverend Donna, please forgive me if I mess up your name. Okay, she says I've been missing you three. I have been campaigning. Special election is next Tuesday. Continue the great work you all do. Much love. Shout out Reverend Donna. Thank you for out there doing that work, ma'am. We greatly appreciate that.
Thank you so much. And what state are you in?
Right. I was gonna say I can't. I don't know exactly what state she's in, so I'm not sure which special election it is. But like James said, thank you so much for doing that work.
I know, Nick. Look, Nick, I can see your face on your picture. But no, you're right. Like that was Ben's Roland Martin accent.
That was it was impromptu. I haven't actually had time to work on it. Like
it's crazy because when I first met Ben, I didn't know him yet. So I was like, oh, he gives a little bit Roland Martin, and Ben was looking at me like I was like, no, you're young, you're fresh, you're innovative.
She was like, oh, he didn't like that, so let me compliment.
You're young, you're fresh, you're innovative.
It's kind of like me saying that you remind me of somebody, even if they're somebody that you might, you're you. I'm me.
Yeah, somebody told me the other day I remind them of what's her name? Sandra. She works with the Biden administration now. She was campaigning with him. The beautiful
Karina, our Haitian sister.
She's not Haitian, but not that one. She's Haitian. You're talking about Karen.
Oh, speaking of, you wanted to talk about.
Yes, I just didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted to make sure that we let it be known. So we wanted to rest in peace to Midwin Charles, who is a legal defense attorney, who was a legal defense attorney, also a CNN legal analyst, MSNBC as well. She passed at the age of 47. We haven't gotten any information on the cause of death as of yet, but she was a pillar to the Black women's community when it came to Black women being on television or being a part of the political conversation. A lot of women know her for that in these spaces. And she was also a fellow Haitian woman in this space as well. And so shout out to her. I've been following her for years. She is one of the women that I looked up to, and don't know why she passed, but her passing has definitely been has definitely broken a lot of our hearts. And even if you did meet her or didn't meet her, I'm pretty sure you've seen her somewhere. You've seen her work somewhere. You've seen her on your television screens. You've seen her across your Twitter feed. You've seen her in an article, something. So she definitely passed following not coming on one of her lives as she usually does. March 19th was the last time that she posted. She said she wasn't feeling well, and yesterday we got the news that she passed at the age of 47. So,
it is so, I don't know. This is why I am unapologetic about feeling this show in our time together. I don't care about the show. This is our time together. We got to fill it with joy. Yeah. We have to, because it's just so much sadness around us. And, one of the things that I feel like we have a responsibility to do is to not compound that sadness, and to make sure that, even if we have to break the news to you, we're not breaking you as we break the news to you. I knew Midwin Charles's work. You could see her all over the place. She was doing it. And Rebecca, I love the way that you contextualize it. Like, in the political commentary streets, she was a beast. Like, she was on the scene. Like, she was taking, like, Donald Trump, she was ripping him apart in this most recent election. And her work goes well beyond that. But just, if anybody doesn't know her, like, you can immediately find out some of her, how fierce she was by just Googling just recently. But she was noted in the Black women circles, like she had so much respect and so much love. And I did not know she was Haitian. And so I thank you for
her name says it all. Her name said it all. Midwin.
I know a lot of people with last name Charles that
her name.
Midwin. Listen. Y'all know I'm not.
Charles is a staple for Haitians.
Y'all know I don't. Names, I can give you the etymology of so many words, where it came from, but names, it's not my thing. That said, love and solidarity with to her family and everyone who loved her, everyone who supported her, and everyone who's grieving this morning. It's just a really, really sad. 47 is entirely too young.
Young, yeah.
Yeah.
Donna Gilbert Poulier also said she's doing the. Go ahead, Rebecca. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say she just looking at her it breaks my heart, because I'm like, dang, really not. And I hate to say, like, life is so short. Do what you need to do. Do what you love to do. Do what you know is gonna make a difference. And she did that up until the day. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what happened, and but we're still mourning her. I know that we've seen her working and making her statements and pulling up to MSNBC and going to events and speaking for the women in entertainment in this whole arena. She's been doing that. And but just to see that, like, dang, you just don't know. You could just wake up one morning, or you could not wake up one morning, and you just don't know. But do what you love, man, because being depressed, y'all, is doing something that you don't, and not knowing if you're going to pass tomorrow. The girl that was, I got my braces. I know I'm just veering left, but I got my braces done yesterday. I got them redone, whatever they call them, adjusted. And she was, doing them, and she was just talking to me. And she was like, just randomly yesterday, I needed to walk out of here, because I just felt like I needed to go remind myself of what it feels like to be fulfilled. And she's like, I love what I do. I came from being a cop to doing this.
Wow.
And she was like, I wanted to end up being working for the feds at least, or being whatever. But then I realized that's not feeding my soul. So she's like, people were saying, why would you go into this? And, you're pregnant and you're going into dentistry. Why would you go into dentistry? And she was telling me that it almost made her lose her mind, just trusting and going with the world, what the world would tell her. And she's like, as a Black woman in the space of dentistry in that certain location where the dentistry is located, she was like, it's almost sometimes you feel like you can't be yourself. You can't be you. But I started to find myself in this place where I found this particular dentistry surrounded with Black women around me. And I feel like I finally have a place. And even days where I don't feel like I'm fulfilled, they allow me to walk out to remind myself of why I love what I do so much and why I get to talk to people like me at the time. So that even spoke to me. And then when I found out the news about Midwin, I'm like, listen, y'all got to live y'all lives. Y'all got to be in places where you're loved, where you're accepted, where they understand that, okay, she's going through a breakdown. Give her an opportunity so she can come back. We know that she's going through a breakdown, but we ain't going to let her stay down for long. Make sure like your partnerships, if you do have that, understand that about you and love on you and just be in places. That's why I said I wouldn't want to work with anybody else. It ain't about the money for me. It ain't about none of that. I wouldn't want to work with anybody else because I know that and understand that this is like family. They understand how hard you want to work and where you want to be, but some days you need a moment. And, I know I'm happy where I am. So if the good Lord were to say it is done, I would know and I would be happy with where I am today. Well,
he ain't going to say it for a little while.
He ain't gonna say it. We ain't putting that out there.
Take a step back. Take a step back, universe.
But still.
God knows. He already told me I got a long.
You still got to find your African prince and have a couple of big, big head, long head babies and
long head ass babies
and see your grandkids
exactly.
And you know what I mean? So, right. Anyway. All right, y'all. James, you about to say something over there, man.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Reverend Donna Gilbert Pulio said she is in Minnesota, and she's doing the special election is for the seat on the city council in Big Lake, Minnesota. So shout out to her.
Thank you for out there doing that work. Yeah. And she's been a patron. She's been a supporter for a long time. So thank you to her and for the super chat. And someone else in the chat room said, Malcolm said, I thought this was supposed to be the fun time. It's our free time. It is our free time.
So we have all the emotions. It's arranged.
Yeah. No. It is this show is definitely arranged, and we're trying to put more emphasis on just enjoying each other.
Freedom on being free. Because we're free thinkers.
Whether y'all like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
All right.
We ended up giving them a whole 2 hours today. How about that?
2 hours, y'all.
No 2 hours.
And extra.
And James, they gonna expect you to play a song.
Right.
Look, James gonna be like, I only got time to give y'all half a song because I got a job.
I don't even got that time because right when I get off here, I gotta run out the house and jump on the conference call at the same time.
Oh man,
I know that feeling. Ben, so look, story time. Ben, last night gonna be like, so Rebecca, you coming to this meeting? And I'm looking like, yes, Ben, I have to log this call. He goes, oh yeah, you do work. I got a whole job. I think Ben thinks I just go and be free, after this. No, I
just don't know your schedule. That's all I'm saying. I don't know your schedule.
My schedule is as soon as I get it. Sometimes I just take a break or I work before this, so I can take a break after this. Sometimes I just work all the way through so that I can get off a little early to take a breather, so I can have a little bit of hours in between coming back here and then starting up with work. It's just whatever.
It is a lot. Hey, listen, and everybody, show y'all love to them. And actually, two things. Today, we are actually going to publish the Like It or Not specific Patreon page. For everybody who is a patron currently of the Benjamin Dixon Show and anyone who becomes a patron of Like It or Not, all of our content is going to be linked. Every link that we share on one page is going to be shared on the other. Every link that's shared for Patreon, whatever we do special for Like It or Not, everybody who's in my family, it's basically the same Patreon. We're just going to keep it separately so that we can build the funds up very clearly and very distinctly to help get my two friends off these corporate slave jobs that they got to go to and they got to report into. So there is a patron party this Friday night, and anyone who becomes a patron of anything that we do, until there's a new technology where we can have everything in one centralized location, we're going to have two separate Patreon accounts. But no matter if you're a part of one, you are automatically a part of the other. If you are supporting right now, if you are a patron of the Benjamin Dixon Show, well, that, you know, you are supporting this show. You are supporting Like It or Not. That's how Like It or Not is here. That's how everything else is here. So continue being a patron over there at the Benjamin Dixon Show. Today, we are publishing and going to finalize. We just couldn't decide. We finally came to the decision last night that we are going to separate the Patreon accounts. And so go over there later on today and become a patron. And if you're already a patron of the Benjamin Dixon Show, you still get access, and you are literally supporting Like It or Not. You are literally supporting James and Rebecca, because I know y'all ain't thinking about me. Y'all think about James and Rebecca. So, as you should be.
James, BBR, RBB, BRB. Be right back.
BRB.
I love it.
Ben, Rebecca, and Bubba, or Bubba, Rebecca, and Ben. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Showtime. Let's get out of here.
Tomorrow morning. Love you guys. Mean it.
Love you guys and mean it. Yeah, we'll see y'all
I'll
tomorrow,
see you guys
man.
later.
Make sure y'all follow us, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Like it or not. Deuces. See y'all.